Hello and welcome back. Strudel is one of those things that I reckon people don't make because they think it's really difficult. I mean, sure, you can spend hours making your own pastry, but if you don't have all day, you can whip this up pretty quickly with store-bought fillo pastry. Let's make some. I'm going to show you how to make two different kinds of strudel today, the classic apple cinnamon and a berry ricotta version. For the apple version, the first thing we want to do is to peel our apples. I've used 9 apples for 3 strudel logs. Tart apples like Granny Smith work really well in this recipe. Once you've peeled them all, it's time to slice or grate them into small pieces. Once the apples are grated, we need to try and remove as much of the liquid out of them as possible. This will prevent the mixture from being too moist and thereby stopping the pastry from going crispy. Firstly, add a squeeze of lemon juice, then 1.5 cups of sugar, and 2 heaped tablespoons of cinnamon. Give that a really good mix with your hands and let it stand for at least 30 minutes in the fridge. The sugar will help to draw out the water from the apples, which we will drain later. Once 30 to 60 minutes has passed, we want to drain the apples as best we can. What I'm doing here is grabbing a handful and trying to squeeze out as much liquid as possible before putting it into a strainer where it can dry out some more. Now, for a step that might be a little bit different to the other recipes out there. In my strudels, I like to add a mixture of sweet, butter-fried, toasted breadcrumbs. This adds an extra layer of flavor and is a really easy addition. To make them, add about 50 grams of butter to a frying pan. Once that's melted, add breadcrumbs and sugar in a 2-to-1 ratio. So for example, I used 1 cup of breadcrumbs here and half a cup of sugar. Then just cook this until the breadcrumbs look golden brown. Now that we have all the ingredients, we can begin constructing the strudel. Like I said at the start, it's great if you want to make your own dough, but frozen phyllo pastry works really well too. First, you want to put down a tablecloth or a kitchen towel that'll help you roll the strudel. Then we want to construct a base of about 5 layers of phyllo pastry. The way you do this is by carefully laying down a sheet at a time, drizzling it with butter before adding the next one. I know it's a ton of butter, but this will really help the layers separate when we bake it. Once you have your 5-layer base, add a generous sprinkle of the breadcrumbs. Then place the apple on top of it. I experimented a little by creating a caramel out of the apple and cinnamon juice that was left over and added it to the strudel. It was an interesting addition, but somewhat unnecessary to be honest. You can just skip this step. Once your fillings are in place, use the tablecloth to help you lift the dough and roll it over. Cut off the ends of your strudel log, brush it with butter and place it into a baking tray. Then put it into the oven at 180 degrees Celsius for about 45 minutes to an hour, just keeping an eye on the pastry until it turns golden brown. Now here was my mistake. Don't put multiple logs of strudel in the same tray so close together. This actually traps the moisture and prevents the strudel from going crispy. So while the apple strudel still tasted good, it wasn't worthy of the finishing shot for this video. Which is why we'll now make another strudel, but with my personal favorite filling, ricotta and blueberry. The steps to make this are exactly the same as with the apple strudel, but we'll obviously replace the apple. To make the ricotta filling, I added 750 grams of smooth ricotta to a bowl with a cup of frozen blueberries and a cup of sugar. Give this a thorough mix and then it's ready. Construct your strudel layers the same way as before, add your breadcrumbs and your ricotta mixture. Place a single log onto the tray and into the oven until it turns beautiful and brown. And finally, here we go. Easy, delicious, crispy strudel. Thanks for watching.